Alright, what's going on, dudes, and welcome back to SkyBlock. This time we're actually back home sweet home on SkyBlock itself. Now, I know I'd mentioned in the last episode we were going to make some sort of an XP grinder, and we still are. However, in this episode in particular, I had a bit of a change of heart, and I'd actually like to dink around with some redstone. So the plan is, a few months ago, I saw this video where a guy had created some sort of contraption with pistons that pushed you along the ground horizontally, actually faster than a minecart. And I wanted to try to recreate that here to get us to and from the mainland. So that's the plan. I've never actually built an entire redstone creation in a video before, so keep our fingers crossed that it works out nicely. So let's actually start off. I've got the items we need in our inventory. We actually need to switch on over to creative, which is new for Too Many Items 1.0. To my knowledge, it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, I figured we'd start off by building sort of a platform down here, and then from there we'll go ahead and start building the redstone stuff on top of the platform. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll make it 8 wide and we'll extend it 2 off here. So then we'll go ahead and just, I don't know, we'll bring it out however far, and I'll probably go ahead and fast forward this. Okay, so this may or may not be long enough for our purposes. I should mention, however, that we don't need to build it all the way out to the mainland. That would be exceptionally far. The plan is we just build a small portion here, get it working, get all the timing down and everything, make it look pretty, and then we go on into MC Edit later on, whenever that may be, and we simply clone it on down to the mainland. So we'll start off with 10 pistons. That should be good for a proof of concept that we can simply clone on down and hold on. So the idea of how this works, if I recall the video correctly, I'm not sure if the guy ever made a tutorial, all I saw was the thing in action. So what happens is you have these pistons down here, and these are all going to fire sequentially, and it's going to extend upwards. It's going to push the top piston up, and once that top piston hits this block right here, it's going to get a current pulse input into it. It's going to extend forward, and you just have to get them all to fire sequentially, and you get pushed on down the line faster than the minecart if you get the timing right. So let's strive for that. So let's start laying down these blocks that will serve as the current for the top ones, and we'll also need to add a little platform so that we can put some repeaters down. So let's get this all set up, and then we can start laying down the redstone component. So I think that's all we need as far as pistons go for now. If we need to make any changes, we can do that. Not too big of a deal. But now we're putting down repeaters, so each of these, when it gets a current input into it, it'll put it through the block and it'll hit the piston, provided it is on this level. It'll extend it forwards and it'll push us. So we'll do it on the other side as well. Also need to add these, and obviously add the redstone to connect them all together. Okay, so let's move on down to the bottom, and it should be the identical setup each way. Let's get that done. Trying to go as fast as I can while still sort of keeping an idea as to what I would like to work towards. I did sort of plan this out in my head beforehand, but yeah, who knows? The way it looks in my head isn't always the way it works out in the game. So we'll see how this goes. We will see how this goes. Okay, so now that we've got all that redstone down, let's just make sure that it is on the same timing. So there we go. Got some fire engines going on outside. Oh, geez. Sirens. Don't you hear I'm recording? I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's put so we'll need to place down a button or something in order to get this thing to start. So let's place it there. That doesn't interfere with any pistons. So now we'll just, the difficult part is simply going to be getting the timing correct to all these 4 branches. So let's think about this a little bit beforehand. So this is going to be the first piston to fire right here. Now, the top has to fire, I think, 1 tick later because this piston has to extend. Then current has to go into the top one once it's up on this level. So let's go ahead and let's create branch out to each side. Add a little back here just in case we need some extra, and we'll go on and we'll wire it down. Okay, so let's just lay all the redstone down as an outline, and then we can add repeaters as needed. So let's wire that from the button to each of the 4 branches. And now we'll start messing with the delays. Okay, so this one we want to have fire first. So we'll leave this be. Actually, we'll add 1 repeater here for future reference. I'll get to that in a few seconds. So we'll add a repeater on each branch, and we'll mess with the timing delay on these. Okay, so we'll leave this be because we want this to fire first, this piston. We'll add 1 tick here because we want this to fire 1 tick after that bottom one is fired. Now, we want this to fire 1 tick after that, so it's going to fire at the same time this one does, so we'll add 1 tick there. And then we want this top one to fire 2 later. So ideally, this should all work. Theoretically, I guess. Now, there is the issue of the pistons getting pulled back into their starting state. So as is, if I push the button, what's going to happen is they're all going to push up, extend, and they're not going to end up back in their starting position. So let's do the test. Yep. Okay. So that's exactly what we were expecting. What we need to do is we need to have... Sorry, I had sirens going by a ton. I don't know what in the world is going on out there. But anyway, so now we're back. Okay, what we need to do is we need to have these guys extended twice as long as these guys are. So we need to have 2 ticks going in here. So what we need to do is simply delete all these in order to reset them back into their start position. Let's get it all the way it was. And now what we need to do is we need to add some sort of second channel in order to input a second pulse with a bit more delay into the bottom. So we'll go ahead and we'll add repeaters down here. We'll delay them a whole bunch, and we'll wire those back over here. Now with that, what should happen is these guys should stay up. The bottom one should stay up for a little bit longer. And it should be long enough so that once these top have retracted, then they'll get pulled back down. So let's give it a test. And what happened to you, my friend? Why did you not work? So it's probably because the delay here is too short. So we'll add 1 more tick. We'll reset, and let's hope this time it ends up working. Okay, so there we go. Give it 1 more try. And there we go. That's exactly the mechanism we were going for. So, sweet. I'm stoked. Okay, so let's add the entire floor so it's all complete. And now the only challenge is going to be getting the timing right so that it pushes us. So right now this probably isn't going to work. Nope, just pushes us up. So if I recall correctly, the video that I saw, the guy actually has a roof on his. And that actually might be why right there, so that instead of pushing you up, it keeps you going forward. So let's try that. We'll add a roof on top. And we'll make the top out of glass, just so that we get some light in there. And it doesn't just become this dark cave. Okay, so we'll give it another try. And it still might be too fast. Yeah, it's still too fast. So, not to worry, we can simply adjust the tick here. We'll do it one at a time. And trial and error. We'll just go until it works. So we'll add one more tick. And try it again. Oh, got a little mess up going on. Okay, we need to fix something in here. Obviously, I forgot to adjust the bottom. Derp, derpity derp. So we need to go ahead and just reset that. That was a silly mistake. Okay, now it should work. Let's simply reset everything into initial state. And keep our fingers crossed, and this time it should work. Okay. There we go. Voila. So I guess the timing was right. That's obviously, since it didn't work with one tick, and two ticks seemed pretty smooth right there. So that looks like a working little piston pusher to me. Bam. Right on. Okay, I'm super stoked right now because this is like the first time I've ever tried to build some sort of redstone mechanism in a live video. So this makes me very happy, I should say. Let's beautify it. And once we've done that, next time we'll go ahead and we'll just copy everything over in MC Edit. And it'll be wonderful. So, God, I'm stoked right now. Yes. Sweet. I'll try to find the original video of the piston pusher and put it in the description just so that the guy gets credit. Yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't remember it, but I'll go and search for it, and I'll link it down there in case you're interested. But for the time being, we'll go ahead and just conceal all the redstone so that we don't see it. And then we should be good to go. Because obviously we want to copy and paste the pretty thing. Otherwise, we're going to be doing this all the way down the line until the mainland. And that would be a kind of big undertaking. So make sure that everything is exactly as we'd like it before we do the copy paste. And then we'll connect it to our mainland. Alright, so really briefly before we end up concealing all the redstone once and for all, I can go over once more just to reiterate how it all works. So once you hit the button, it sends the pulse into this line of redstone down here. It first, with a two tick delay, one tick outside of the whole mechanism. So with a 1 tick delay, it goes into the bottom right. Then with a 2 tick delay, it goes into the bottom left because that's one block down the line. Also with a 2 tick delay, it goes into the upper right one. And then with a 3 tick delay, it goes into the upper left. And then that just carries on down the line with a 2 tick delay between each one firing. And it just pushes us down. So that's how it all works. Go ahead and cover it all up so you never have to see it again. Oh, and of course, we have the second pulse here, and what that does is that just keeps these bottom pistons extended long enough so that the top ones can extend, retract, and then the bottom ones will pull them back into the starting state. Forgot to mention that in the quick final overview of how we all got it to work. So there we go. That's it. We now just need to go ahead and connect it. So we need some sort of entryway. I guess we just have to do something like that. Otherwise, there's no way to enter without exposing redstone. So, oh well. It's just how we're gonna have to do it. So, yeah, we'll connect it with cobblestone just so it kind of blends in. Go like so. And I don't know, make it look nice somehow. Okay. So we want it to lead on over into here. And that'll be it. There we go. We can put a roof on over it, or I don't even know, but that should work just fine. So anyway, next time we'll go ahead and we'll make it all work all the way to and from the mainland via MC Edits with some wonderful cloning tool awesomeness. And boo! That is so cool. I'm just gonna keep doing that over and over and over. God. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. If you have, it would be awesome if you wouldn't mind taking half a second to leave a rating. Other than that, I'll catch you all next time.